Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, depending on where you're watching this, whether it's in Honolulu or on the mainland. It's about 7 o'clock a.m. In Honolulu, about 1 o'clock on the mainland in New York. So, look, we're coming out of lunch. Just kind of a boring market today, right? We started off really, really quick, right? The NASDAQ was green, the S&P was green, the Dow was green, 200, 300 points, right? Futures were blasting going into the open. And it just kind of sagged from there, right? Just kind of this dullness came over it. And it's kind of a listless market right now. So we're kind of stepping back and just doing our thing. We still got those cues that we're long in, and we'll stay in those. Uh, we just came off that big Ford play, right? Ford's actually having a good day today. It really held that 1450 level. And we like that for the long term for you guys. For you guys that are following along with us, we'll keep that Ford stock for a while. And the reason is we think there's even bigger things. Remember the thesis going into that and how it played out, right? We talked about it. It had that big sell down off the earnings report. And the whole thing was, because they had said they'd lose 50% of their production in the second quarter. And they also mentioned in that same earnings report that in the middle of the second quarter, they'd start to resolve that chip shortage and things would start moving back towards normal. We knew, right? We were right there in that May spot, and that's the middle of the second quarter. So that was a buying opportunity, and we took advantage of it. And you saw after that, you had your investors show, which all of a sudden, they were talking about EV vehicles and stuff like that. And all of this bad news just kind of washed out. And it's just gone on and on and on from there. Why? Well, because probably the company is starting to resolve that chip issue, or at least is adjusted for it and whatever. And so we'll keep that because we think as this story progresses, the first thing that's going to come back is the dividend, and that'll blow the stock up even more. And then we'll decide whether we're going to keep it or what. But for right now, it's still a hold for you guys that are following along. Now, the market today, right? We're long in these cues. Why are we not panicking? Well, it's kind of just a listless market today, right? Energy is having a great day. Oil's pushing towards that $70 a barrel. We talked about it. Triple digit oil by the end of summer, and we're well on that course. So we're in the XLE, the Suncor, and the ET had a huge day today. It's having a huge day. Suncor is just pennies off that $25 strike we're at. And so is XLE. XLE was in the nice mid 54s there. A little bit of softness in the afternoon with the rest of the ETF. So, and kind of the market. There's kind of some drags on the market right now, right? J&J, their Johnson & Johnson came out. They're going to have to pay that $2 billion from the baby powder, right? Remember we talked about this when J&J had its first problems with the COVID vaccine. We said, don't trust J&J. They have a long history of putting out these products that aren't quite as safe as they say they are, right? And it's kind of funny, right? They've had the problems with the vaccine, right? With causing blood clots and things like that. You go back to the baby powder, right, which they're paying $2 billion. How about the No More Tears when they were just putting a different label on the same adult shampoo, right? I mean, it just goes on and on. You J&J investors out there, look, it's still a great dividend, and the company will bounce back at some point, okay? Other than that, guys, it's just kind of listless market. Let's talk a little Bitcoin because we didn't do a crypto show last week. And the reason is crypto's in an accumulation phase, and I want to kind of show you on the charts. So let's share screen here, guys. Let me share screen here. We'll pop on over. There's your CNBC. Let's get a little refresh here so we know we've got accurate numbers. And you can see after that big start, the NASDAQ's down about 20 points. It just came off trying to push green again through lunch, but we'll see how the rest of the day goes on that. The VIX is up about 10, 12% today, but it's still well underneath that $20 level, which is your volatility level. The small caps, usually, small business drives this country. With the reopenings and stuff, the small caps are starting to get real bullish. That should help fuel the rest of the market. What the drag in is on the NASDAQ is you're still not getting your key players participating, your Microsofts and your Apples and things like that, your Amazons and stuff like that. Let's see if they come around. Other than that, let's talk a little bit about crypto. We didn't have a crypto show last week because we kind of talked about it the Friday before, right? Exactly what's going to happen. And let me show you on the chart how good charting really helps you. So we talked about it, right? When we had that big sell down, we set a trend line, right? First thing you do is you set a trend line. Trend is your friend, right? And you don't know what to play until the end of the trend, right? And so you want to see some resolution. And so we put a trend line in there, and you see we got it just followed right along. Now, we talked about what do you want to see in a sell down? You want to see capitulation. Everybody gives up, right? You saw it on YouTube the last 5-10 days. Oh my God, if I see one more person talk about how they sold all their crypto and it's the end of the world, you know what I mean? I'm going to just smash my phone. You probably are too. That's what created this. You see that big red bar and that big volume. That's capitulation, and we called it. And then you saw a little bit of recovery. But like we said, the first thing we have to do is change the trend, right? The trend is your friend. You're swimming upstream when you go against a trend, right? So you're not really buying now. You're not expecting, V bottoms in the market. Don't get too excited about those. They're far and few between. And crypto is getting a little bit long in tooth where it's got some accurate data. But we talked about that, right? The first thing you need to do is break that downtrend. There you go. It broke the downtrend. And then what do we say? We need to go a little sideways. Why do we need to go a little sideways? So it's an accumulation phase. It's a digestion. This is huge selling, right? Look at those big old volume bars in there. Just destroyed the asset, right? And everybody was freaking out. Some of them are still freaking out. So what's the next thing we want to see is, well, now once we've broken the downtrend, what happens next? So the first thing you want to see is a little digestion of the shares. So we put our trend bars, our support and resistance. Bottom of it, all we did was go back to the last time there was big support, right? There was a breakout here, and then there was support here on the next breakout. So we use that as our bottom, right? And then on our top, where did our big breakouts come? Well, we had one here, but we had a huge one here. So let's go with that. Funny how that coincides with your bars here. Little bit of divergence there, but close enough, right? So this is how you read your chart. Keep it very simple. You can add all these indicators, you can add all these things, but all you need to know is what's the trend and what's it going to do next? What phase are we in? We were in a selling phase. Now we're in a consolidation phase. This needs to be resolved. Massive selling, panic selling, right? Now, once it goes through here, if it does break through that bottom bar, it's probably going to go down to the next support. But as you can see, it keeps bouncing off that bottom bar. At some point, the accumulation phase is over. All this selling's been gobbled up by the bulls, and it'll break through that blue line, and then you know you're in the run. So what does that tell you? Well, sit tight here, buy here, and ride back up. Right? Especially if you're a hodler like we are. We're hold on for deal lifers. We're looking for points to cost average in. You bought up here when you started your crypto like we did, right? When we started this whole crypto journey, we bought our first crypto coins at 58 grand. Right? We started with 200 bucks, and then we just held through here, and then we're looking for our spot to buy some more. And now we just bought a little bit more in the crypto portfolio, right? So we'll see how this resolves. Again, you can't tell the market, you can't tell an asset what to do. You have to let it show you, and you ride along. That's the way to do things properly. So that's what we think's up with Bitcoin. And that's why we didn't do a crypto show really this week, last week, is because that's all we'd be talking about. So we'll sit through this. By the time Friday's show come along, let's see if we get some resolution there. We got more to talk about. Other than that, guys, let's pop on back over to CNBC. Let's do a little refresh here. You see how that NASDAQ is this morning? It's just not getting participation from the big boys, like I said, with the Apple and stuff like that. The Dow got a little soft because J&J is a big component, right? Oil is carrying everything. Oil is at a 2-year high. We're positioned for that move, like we said many times before. Really, the only excitement in the stock market today is your mem stocks, right? AMC's having another strange day. AMC was kind of interesting too, right, guys? It opened up big green, then it got a little beat up, and then now it's bouncing back. We'll see how that works out. But other than that, guys, just kind of let it work out right now. There's times when it's best to just kind of be an observer, right? You're trying to find these little points and stuff. Look, if your day trading ticks, you know what I mean? That's what you do. But we don't trade like that, right? We're looking for bigger fish. We're not looking for little 10, 15% moves. Anyway, so we'll let it work out. So after the long weekend, everybody's kind of getting the blood flowing again. It was a fantastic Memorial Day weekend, right? Lots of good stuff happening. Theaters reopened, right? And that's part of the push on AMC with the mem stocks, the Reddit stocks. AMC being the feature of them right now. That's what's really pushing it. A lot of movies open this weekend. They did well. There was, I forget which movie it was, but they released it on streaming and at the theaters at the same time. And the theater almost outpaced the streaming, which was pretty good, right? Getting people back out there. So, and that kind of shows, right, that things are reopening. Normal is coming back into the world, and we just want to take advantage of that going forward, right? So we'll see. So look, guys, we're going to sit tight. We're going to sit tight on our energy play. 2 out of 3 are already profitable, and we got plenty of time on those contracts. The Q play that we opened up last week, we'll let that digest a little bit. The Q's not really defining one way or the other right now. So we'll give it a chance to work out. We think the rest of the week we get a nice little rally out of this market, and we'll see if that plays true. So we'll stick with those cues. We still got about 2 weeks on that trade. 3-day weekend, guys. Like I always said, like I told everybody, all the members in the live room this morning, you know what? We do a quick room, we'll go over some charts, we'll talk about things, and then just go continue getting the blood flowing for Wednesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, okay, guys? This week, no stock of the week this week, okay, guys? It's a short week, so what we'll do is we'll do the daily updates on the market mornings, and then we'll have our nice crypto show on Friday. Hopefully by Friday, we start getting some resolution from that chart, okay? We did buy a little of the Cardano coin in our Voyager account, which is more of our trading account. The Nexo account, we use that to get it. With the Nexo account, you get the interest no matter how much of the coins you have. As long as you got the coins, you get the interest. So they're always compounding. So what we use the Voyager for, you have minimums, right? For somebody that's following along, that might just be starting like we did with $100, $200, guess what? You're not going to be able to get enough of a position in anything that you're going to be able to get interest. So that's the way we're doing it. Voyager is like the Robin Hood of crypto apps, right? It's, you can buy limits and stuff like that. It's easy to fund with the Plaid bridge and stuff like that. And it's a little easier to trade. So with that one, what we did was we took $200, we put it in the Voyager account, and we're just buying coins. And when they pop, we sell. What we do is we take the profit from the play. Like say we buy $50 worth of WWW coin, right? And then it goes up 20%. So we take the 20% and we buy some Bitcoin or Ether, and we send that over to the Nexo account. The upfront that we just use that for the next trade. And then that way, whatever we're making in profit gets converted into one of your big coins, and it goes over to the Nexo, and it immediately starts compounding. Your money on all ends is working for you. Remember, I'm going to close with this, right? Remember what I always tell you. You're either working your ass off for your money, or your money's working its ass off for you. Which one do you want to be? You see how we're doing this with the crypto. We make sure that money, one way or the other, is working its ass off for us. All right, guys. So let's call it a day with that. That's enough swearing and enough foul language from this guy. Let's call it an update, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Don't forget, no stock of the week this week, but the updates are worth watching. Feel free to share them with your friends if you want, if you find something valuable or of use in there. And if not, don't forget, Friday is the crypto show. We'll be doing a crypto show this week, and we'll see if this short week ends up being a profitable week. All right, guys.